Hi everyone, very good morning. How are you doing today, guys? Welcome back to ITOM Batch 2, Day 24.
Hi Jay.
Hello, Lalit. How are you doing?
Good Ajay, good.
Good to hear. Thank you. So I think let's get started. So before moving today's session, couple of folks are not available to attend yesterday one. Have you guys tried to go through the video recording?
Ajay, I didn't get a chance, but definitely I'll do it over the weekend and catch up on at least I wanted to redo the whole CMDB thing, so I'm going to start from the day one of CMDB and catch up.
Sure. Okay, sure. Arati, do you have any questions from the yesterday session?
No, but we had said that we would be uh, discussing like couple of things, right? There was the correctness that I don't know why I have that in my notes, and then
Mhm.
something about configuration management, and then CMDB 360. Those are the three things that
Right, right. So we'll discuss on those particular points. Don't worry. Yeah. So let me share my screen again. Let me know once my screen is visible to everyone. Right. So let's start with the first of all three C's again of that CMDB health: correctness, compliance, and complete. Correctness, compliance, and completeness. Right. So let's go to navigate again CI class manager. I'm just opening this and I'm also opening the CMDB dashboard. So I'm just typing CMDB here and let's go to the CMDB view, the dashboard of it. Okay. So yesterday we are able to complete completeness and we are able to complete compliance, how that particular metrics will be populated, what is required for that. And just to give you recap again on this one, let me open the Windows server. I can open any table here. So I'm just opening the Windows server and where I'm just configuring that, the CMDB health rules completeness, where the two attributes or two metrics will be calculated. One is required and one is recommended. Required will be calculated based on the mandatory fields on the table, and recommended will be calculated which customer is recommended. Like, couple of times customer is looking for manual attribute that should be available, but he don't want to be put mandatory for that to be CI, right? But customer want to be maintain their CMDB health, so he put it couple of non-discoverable attribute or any other attribute which he wants to be make sure that particular attribute should available, so he can he can maintain that particular CMDB health based on that, right? So I have selected this one. So once I have selected, just need to be save it, and we have recommended field scorecard, and the same way we have required field scorecard where which we can maintain, like, what is the lower threshold value, what is the upper threshold value, and based on that we want to be populate that particular one on CMDB dashboard, right? Second is compliance. Compliance, we have three things. Basically, it just to be maintain or check the compliance of the particular class or particular CI. Basically, in simple words, if I say, like, example, in our organization we have a compliance where we just only allow Windows 10 laptop or Windows 10 OS devices. Okay. So if in my computer table, if that is not belongs to Windows ON, we can also Windows 10, we can showcase a simple, like, these are the devices which is not belongs to Windows 10. Or let's take an example in different way of compliance is antivirus, right? So we have a specific 10.0.0 example, a version of antivirus, and that manufacturer is anything I can say. You can take any antivirus name, right? So that should be manufacturer, right? If it is not installed, that software is not installed in your laptop or your Windows server or any other device, right? So it will be non-compliant device, right? So that should be compliant. should be updated properly. So we can also create report on that. So what we have to do for that, first of all, we have to be create a certification filter based on that, that will be calculated that we are looking for. Then we have to be create certification template based on our filter condition and all. And last is audit, right? So that will be how we are going to be calculate that one with audit type is desired state or some other, right? So we can also do that. And the same way we have audit scorecard, which we can see, like, a lower threshold is again 33 and the upper is 67. So based on that will be populated, right? So once those particular things configured, right, we can come to our service dashboard, CMDB, CMDB dashboard, CMDB view, and we have to be triggered that particular schedule jobs from here. So we can trigger completeness and compliance schedule jobs from here, and which help to populate the CMDB health of the dashboard. So these schedule jobs we can also configure, or we can trigger on demand as well. So once I triggered, if you see here, I can see those particular values, right? So if you see recommended one, we have total in the CMDB is 3554 CIs, where 180 devices are recommended, where recommended values are not available, and three only one required on one table there is mandatory attribute which is not available, right? So we can run that one. And the same way we have run the compliance on the Windows server itself for Windows devices, where we have 68 one devices which are failing, or 58 devices are failing for the compliance, right, which we have configured. Sorry. Now we have CMDB correctness desk scorecard. So let's talk about the correctness. There are three metrics, basically duplicate, orphan, and stillness. So let me go back here and go to the correctness. Again, duplicate scorecard, we no need to be configure anything. It just be automatically calculated. But again, how it will be calculated? It will be calculated based on the identification rules or the duplicate CI on that particular table. So we must, or we need to be ensure my identification rules are will be correct and working fine. And if there is issue with my identification rules, definitely it will be detected by duplicate scorecard and it will populate that one on the CMDB dashboard, right? Then comes orphan rules. Anyone knows what is orphan? Any idea?
Probably that doesn't produce any result.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so yeah, agreed that probably which is not able to produce result, but in here that is, something we which device we don't that device don't have any, upper and lower relationships basically. So in our phone, if you remember anath basically, right? So which don't have any belongings or anything which we want to be looked for, right? So here we can configure that particular orphan rule as well. So let's go to configure this one. Here, again, it's on CMDB CI server class attribute. If we want to be, when for which particular type of things we are looking, I'm looking for operational status is really operational on those particular devices, right? And the relationships. So if I put relationship is runs on runs, I'm looking like, every Windows server CI should have runs on run relationship with my application server table. CMDB CIPP means that might be we are maintaining manually, or might be that is coming from discovery, but we need to ensure that every Windows Server CI which operational status is operational should have runs on runs relationship with my application CMDB CI. So the use case will be, your customer comes to you and he wants to be manage relationships manually or from the discovery, right? And he wants to be ensured that one that should be related to any application table or any application record, right? Sometimes it's not application, it can be like business service or the service, like, which we are going to be discussing in this CSDM, because that's why the CSDM framework has been designed, right? So customer wants to be that particular CI should be belongs to any technical service, business service, or application service. So that should be there. If it is not, then it will, showcase like that particular CI is orphan because we have not maintained the correct relationship of it, right? So we can configure that from here. Once I submit, now it submit again, we have orphan scorecard, which is, the same lower threshold is 33, upper is 67. The next is stainless rule. Anyone knows what is stainless? Again,
The CI has not been updated in a while, at a certain.
right, right, exactly. If you see in the top here, discovery marks VMware vCenter class that no longer something is updated from the discovery, right? So here we have put it 60 days and it's running on applies to CMDB CI table, right? So we can also do modification as well if we want to be specific, if we want to be go with the specific class, and if don't want, we can go with that as well. So we can create here this new one.
Ajay, I didn't attend the class yesterday. So now, how the one thing I remember is the last exercise on Discover Fundamentals. We had to run
Hmm.
these three reports, right? That's what I remember doing it.
Yes, right,
Right,
exactly.
right. So now coming to the scorecards of min and max, is that something that
Hmm.
we can set, or did you talk about that
Hmm.
yesterday?
Yes, we can set that one, right? So if I go to add it new, right, you can see that is less than or equal 33 means if we have 67 percentage is correct, right? So we can showcase it's a green, right? If it is more between 33 and 67, we can say it's on risk. If it is more than 67, based on that, we can say 60, it's a critical, right? We need to be update anyhow. We need to be act now, basically, in simple word, if I say, right? So that we can set it, right? And based on that, if you see, you are able to see that particular value, it's green, basically means we are green here. It's more than 67 percentage thick records are populated here. The populate records we have on recommended 5%, required only 1%. But here if I go to compliance, I can see 61 records, right? But 95% are non-compliant, 58 records are not compliant here. So based on that, that will be populated. So customer is basically what customer wants, at least 95% my CIs will be populated correctly, right? And below 80 to 95, that will be at risk. And if it is below that, then it will be critical for me. I need to be act or need to be update that particular things there. So we can manage that one. That is out of the box. This is something I can put do that like that way, right? So this is up to us.
Sure.
Okay.
I think
Hmm.
one other question you actually answered it a few weeks back. So after CMDB, we're going to talk about the CSDM framework.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So let me save this as well. Stillness rule, it's already there. I'm just not configured. But if you want to be, so it's by default 60 days, and I think that's enough. If your ECI is not updating from last 60 days, that's not the correct. Might be there are a couple of regions that is not updated, right? If you are using our service now out of the box discovery, if you added that particular IP in discovery schedule, might be there is some a network breakage or firewall policies is not working correctly. Might be there is some issue with the credentials due to that that's not working, or might be any other exclusions due to that CI is not updating in the CMDB, or that infra team not using that particular IP anymore for that particular device, or they have assigned some new IP, or they have retired it, right? So when you are trying to discover that, the service now discovery is not able to find out that particular device, right? So due to that, your devices are not updating frequently, and it's not updating, that will be caused an issue, right? Because what customer wants to using service now discovery, that compare as much as possible real time things, right? So that's why customer is looking for a discovery schedule every week, or week twice in a week, or every alternate day, right? So my CI record should be updated properly, right? So if it is not happening, that means it's an issue for that particular things for particular class, why it's not happening. Second thing, if we are using some different data source, right? So we can also do that as well. And again, I already discussed yesterday, we have a refresh rule. If we have two data source or two source for the the same type of class, we can also create reference rules where if one source is not updating from last 30 days, we can trigger the another source to be update that particular CI. If it is, service graph connector, or if it is integration or whatever, how whatever way to we want to be update that particular CMDB class, right? So we can also do that.
Ajay, where would you write that rule that you're talking about?
I already mentioned yesterday,
Okay.
but yeah, let me showcase you.
No,
It's
no,
not a
no,
big
no. Don't
deal.
worry, Ajay. I'll
Yeah,
do it.
here it's a
Okay.
data refresh rule. You can see specify when CI turns stale for a discovery source, allowing the CI to be updated by lower priority authorized discovery source. So here, we use two discovery source. One is ServiceNow discovery, and second is Azure CMDB VBS, right? So if my ServiceNow discovery is not updating, that should be updated by my another discovery source, which is for the same class, right? So we can configure that as well here, data refresh rules.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So now let me come back to CMDB dashboard. Let me go here. It's not one moment only. It's, something view is changed somehow. Let me go this again. Yeah. So let me go to the CMDB dashboard jobs. Let me run the correctness. Still, if you see the values are for correctness is nothing. It's not populating. It's not evaluating, right? But yeah, if I execute, as I mentioned, you can put conditions as well if you want to be put, or you can want to be run whatever schedules you can configure it based on the time zones and time and all, right. And now I'm going to be execute this on demand. So once I execute, it will take couple of minutes. So meanwhile, it's updating that particular CMDB correctness scorecard. Any questions in that one till now what we have discussed from anyone? No? Okay, sounds good. Yeah. See, that it's updated, right? It's more than 67, so that's why it's okay. See, green 69%, right? Now you can see 355 records, right? So let's verify that one first of all again in the CMDB underscore CI dot list. Sorry, my bad. Shit. It's opening, right? So total in CMDB table, we have 3554 record. Now you are asking me, Ajay, you have configured that rule on the Windows Server table. Why it's calculating my complete CMDB table, right? Because end of the day, this is a child table of the hardware, and hardware is child table of CMDB CI. First of all, that is the reason. And I have not configured any health and inclusion rules as well, right? So if want to be configured, and if we want to be calculated for that one, or if we want to be put any specific class on which table that should be applied, right? We can also configure it, and we can go to the CMDB table directly, and we can collect, or we can run that CMDB health rule for those particular specific class. As I mentioned, yeah, there is two ways to do that. Yeah, if we have to go with a specific class, we have to go with that, or we can go with that choosing that particular class. If we are going with the CMDB complete CMDB CI, there are lots of records which is not compliant, which is the value is not correct, because we are not going to be maintain the each and every class record, because that there is one two there are two things. Basically we are going to be always main focus on the principal classes, or that required by the business, or that required by that our CMDB configuration teams. Definitely we are not going to be worry about to update everything on exit interface, routing table, next hop, because we are not going to be creating any mandatory attributes, or we are not going to be create any relationships with that, right? So that can be possibility. So we have to go with our specific class, or we have to go with that principal classes which we want to be populate on the CMDB dashboard. So my health dashboard should be looks correct basically, right? So if I showcase you, as I mentioned, 3.5 double record, it's running on the CMDB table directly. We have duplicates here. Let me click on this one. If I click on that one, I am going to be move out on specific dashboard, duplicate CI, orphan CI, and stale CI. It's again one moment. Shit. That somehow it's clicked, and it's zooming that particular view, so it's irritating a little bit. Yeah, let me open once again. I'm here. I'm just clicking on this one. Okay, now you can see in duplicates on computer table we have 322 duplicate record. In Windows Server, we have 180 records, which is orphan. And still, we have different tables, which is now still, as I mentioned, right? SPKG, that is some software related table, right? Package software packaging table, right? So here all record 1766 record are there, but we are not worried about that. If it is not updated through the discovery, we are not worrying about it, right? But if computer is not updating from the discovery or any other data source which we are updating this computer record, then it is an issue for us, right? So we have to be discuss all these now. Let me go to the duplicate. These are my duplicate record. If I open this one, the first record, so this is duplicate. How we can verify? If I open this one and go to my CMDB table just to verify, is this actual duplicate or no? I'm just going with the name only because identification rule will working on the name. See, there are 147 record with the same name, and I'm pretty sure there is no serial number is also there, right? If I check the serial number as well, if I go with that, any other identification rule. Okay, let me add it from here. And this is something, if the same name person available in the same home, and if you are calling one person and both person are coming on the same time, right? So this is duplicate basically. So we should avoid that one, right? So if you see, if I go with the serial number, shit, again, there are 13 records which don't have the serial number, right? But the duplicates found based on the name, right? So automatically duplicate task will be created on that, and we can check that one on how, if we what we need to do. We are going to be merge that duplicate record, or we are going to be, how we are going to be act on that particular duplicate record, right? Second thing, if I go back from here, this is one duplicate one. I will tell you there are a couple of other properties related to duplicate or de-duplication task. We'll discuss on that one. Again, the orphan CIs, where 180 CIs related to Windows Server, because we specifically mentioned that is for Windows Server, right? And here these are the particular records where we don't have any relationships runs with application table. If I open this one just to verify, copy this, and if I'm going to CMDB underscore rel underscore CI table dot list, and if I search with this, you can see there are two relationships with this particular when we are putting as a parent, virtualize by virtualize and initiate by instant by, right? And if I search with child as well, let's search this as well. There is no relationships, means there is no runs on runs relationship with application table. So that's why it's populated here in this particular orphan rule or orphan matrix basically. And then we have still shit. Yeah, this is what is this happening? Not sure how. Sorry guys, let me open again this one. Okay, and let me go back here.
And Ajay, where do we there is some table where we configure, right, what type of relationship should be available, should exist.
That is CMDB LCI table, where we are going to be configure,
But how do
you
we
know,
know what type of relationship should exist? Is that configured somewhere?
no, I'm not getting your question. Come again,
So, like
please.
for example, if you're looking for, like, let's say a storage device, okay, are there
Hmm.
any relationship for that CI with any
Hmm.
other CI?
Hmm.
Is there?
No, it's out of the box is there, right? I'm just mentioning that particular specific relationships which customer is asking, right? So when you are going to be prepare a data model with customer, definitely you are going to be discuss with the data model and the relationships required by the customer,
Okay.
right? So I'm mentioning on that relationships type. Whatever service now creating, whatever populating, you're not worried about the each and every relationships type, right? But you know when we are working with a customer is more specific to see that relationship should be there, that should not be missed, like for with business service, application service, database, or technical service with application, right? Customer is more interested to see where my CI is, and it's CI which service my CI is part of, right? Or which technical service my CI is part of, or which application my service CI is part of, basically, right? He wants to
That's
look
where I'm a little
that
bit,
particular.
maybe I do, my question is not even valid. But then
Uh-huh.
how do we, I mean, how does this orphan CI report even get populated? And how do we know that that runs on runs is missing and it should
Okay,
show up in orphan CI?
let me tell you again. Let me go back on the CI class manager. Let me go back to correctness. What we have configured here, just see. We have configured orphan rule basically on. Let me go back. Yeah, we have configured orphan rules for Windows Server where operational
Yeah,
status is
yeah, okay.
operational.
I missed
And
that totally. Yeah, I missed that
right,
relationship. Yeah.
yeah. So we configured runs on runs with application server,
Now I get
application table,
it.
right?
Okay. That's my
If
question.
that is, yeah, if it is missing, then definitely it will going to be
That makes
calculate,
sense.
right?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, right. So let me come back here. Now I just want to discuss about this tail CI. So there are lots of table which is not updated from last couple of or 2 months, 60 days basically. Let me open the computer table again, right? And if you can see last related, we can see here. Let me open this record, or let me open in different way as well, just to showcase you. See, so this is my CI, and this is mentioning that which rule, stillness rule, what is the source of it, and all, right? So let me open this ThinkPad T20, go to my CMDB table where it is. Hmm, oh, where it is, yeah, here. ThinkPad T20. Let me ungroup by serial number. We have again a lot, 21 records with 320, ThinkPad 320. Let me go with most recent discovery first of all. Okay, and then update it. Okay, that is on the top. Let me go this. So if I go with updated, that is updated 39 months ago. First of all, 5 months ago, 5 months ago, 5 months ago. And what we have configured? We have configured for 60 days. That is also going to check the updated and checking the most recent discovery in both ways. If my CI discovered through the ServiceNow discovery, that will also populate it most recent discovery, right? If my CI created manually or coming from any service graph connected data source or any different data source, then it's going to be calculate the updated one, right? So somehow we need to be update that particular CI within that day. Now let's do one thing. Now you can see the count of CMDB. It's again, yeah, it's computer is 735. Let's do one thing. I'm on the ThinkPad record. Let's me update Ajay RAM. CPU type is this. Okay, RAM is 8 GB. CPU speed is 100. Let me update this one. Let me save this. Okay, remember count is 735. I'm going to be run. Let me close the all records again. And I'm going back. I think let's close this one as well. In the CMDB dashboard job, I'm just going to become here to run this particular correctness again to execute now. It's, it's irritating today. Not sure how that will be zoom the screen again and again. Right, let me open and let me open the 69% record. So whenever or whatever, we are going to be fix that one, the schedule job should be run again and that should be updated. Now you can see it's updated 732, right? So, automatically that will decrease if we are taking the correct actions on it. And that's why that particular dashboard is built. So we have a visibility around our CMDB, what how my CMDB classes or the CIS record looks like basically. Is the duplicate record is much, its orphans are there or whatever the stainless, and if audit is going to fail or required and recommended attributes are not there. So make sure while you're working for any customer, you get that particular things, or while you're working with you're in your data model or workshop sessions with the customer, make sure try to collect that information from the customer to configure or to build the CMDB dashboard for them so they can have some visibility on it as well. If I little go down, you can also see top 10 incident CIs, top 10 alert generators, right? So this is something out of the box, right? If you want to be modify that particular dashboard, that you can modify as well. And there is one more thing which is related to relationships health, right? If you want to be maintain the relationships, again, we have, couple of compliance processor score. Let me run this one. Relationships compliance processor, relationships score calculation, and this particular jobs as well. If I run those particular things, and this is for top task generating CIs. Yeah, so that is updating my relationships as well. Now you can see, right? So it just helped me to give more visibility on relationships with my CMDB CI records as well. So make sure you are going to be configured in correct way. You are going to be asked the correct information from the customer while you are going to be doing workshop sessions with the customer related to that, right? Now, do you have any question, guys, before moving to the next thing? Okay. Now let's me move to the deduplication. So again, under my identification and reconciliations, we have deduplication task or deduplication. Yeah, duplicate CI remediator properties. We have it. So this is my duplicate CI record properties. Basically what we want to be, which table, a comma separated list of the record tables, reference column, it should be excluding from merging the duplicate CI remediation. So if when we are going to be take action on the duplicate CI, we can also, we that particular table is excluded to merging that one, right? Thresholds for duplicate CI is 1000, right? And attribute which max length exceeded 4000 by default, we can also remodify that. But only the one main important, which is something, this one, which table we want to be exclude to merging, or that how many CIs we can remediate using the deduplication task. These are the two main basically properties, right? So we can reconfigure if we want to be, if we see there are, on one duplicate task there are more than hundreds or more than 1000 CIs are there, so we can also do that, right? And when I come back to remediate duplication task, you can see I'm not sure what is the calculation of it, but it's around the same calculation which we are able to see here, 322, right? If I just calculate 147 and 141 is 288, and 15 and 15 30, so 288 plus 30 is 8 381 818 and 318, right? And 4. So the count is same, whatever we are able to see here, 322. 318 plus 4, 322, right? And basically, if you see all record belongs to the computer table, we can also able to see how they are duplicate, right? Let me open this one here. But in which class that record is? It is this record is in computer class. How duplicates find? Duplicate CI are found based on the criterion attributes specified in identification rule. For the class, all duplicate CI will have identical value for the criterion value below. Name is the same for all duplicate record, right? Second, here it's serial number. There are, I think, 15 record for this one, but the serial number is the same. Duplicate CI found on the below criterion. The criterion is serial number because that is mentioned in identification rule, right? It's again for serial number. It's again for name. So we have 15 record with the same name. If we go here, no, sorry, go here with the name, you can see configuration item multiplex 469 and all, right? But if I go to the serial number one, you can see items with that name, configuration item, this is the name, actual name. Don't be confused with that because this is not the serial number, right? Now the thing comes to remediate those particular records, right? While remediating duplicate CI, we have to be more careful. More careful means that sometimes that can be possibility. If by mistake someone updated the wrong serial number or the wrong name on the CI, it can be part of duplicate deduplication task. But we have to be little bit careful. Do we need to remediate, or how we are going to be fix it? If we are going to be fix it in different way without remediating duplicate task, definitely we have to be close the task. If not, then we have to go with the remediation task, right? So first of all, we need to analyze the data as well, how and when and which CI we need to be remediate, right? So here, if you see, there are, you know, 15 records which have the all whole serial number, right? But serial number can be possibility because that it's not updating from the discovery is unknown, discovery source is unknown, but the name of the old CIs is different, or might be the use of the CIs also be different, right? If the name and the CI serial number is also matching, then I can say, might be it's creating by due to any mistake, or it's creating by discovery because last CI is something else and this CI is something else and all, right? Also, we have to be take care the status of the CI, install status and the operational status. What we want to, what is the exactly of the status of the CIs and what we want to be. If when we are taking actions, when we are remediating, it's up to us if we want to delete the existing CI or the duplicate CI, or we want to cap it in the CMDB but different status, right? So now let's go and start remediate one. And there is out of the box flow, right? If you want to modify that flow, use a custom remediation flow, you can also do that. It's not a big deal, right? You just need to be create a workflow and you just need to be attached here. When you are going to be, just need to be add here, right? Let me go with out of the box now. When I click on the next, duplicate CI remediator workflow will be triggered, and it will also give you some suggestions or some things to you as well, right? So here, if you see, there are 15 CIs total. Recommended CI which you can make as a main CI is 3. Why? Recommendation based on these things. It's a newest discovery. It's happened on 12th of August in 2011. The next is most related items, oldest created, that is on 2006, and next is newest updated. So it's up to us which CI we want to create a main CI when we are going to be merge the attribute or when we are going to take action on those particular to remediate duplication, right? So let's take an example. I am just taking about this one because this is my latest discovered and computer is there and all. I understand ki if it is latest discover means the probably all information available on that CI is looks correct and good to me, right? When I start remediate manually, then new things will comes, manage attributes, right? So if I just want to be take, like, let's take an example on the main CI have something different value and other CIs have some different value. So if we want to be merge that particular values, attribute values, we can do it from there as well. So let me showcase you. If that is service pack 2, the main CI have the service pack 2 Intel and all, right? If I go here, so all 15 CIs, there are a couple of other CIs which don't have service pack value, and which have the service pack value means only the service pack 2 means my value is correct. I don't need to take any action on it, right? Second is Intel. Here again, it's some blanks because why it's showing other value, because there are a couple of records which don't have any CPU manufacturer value. So it's suggesting you, do you want to go with Intel or do you want to go with a blank CPU manufacturer value, right? So basically, when this will comes in the picture, when you have owned by, assigned to, or location, if you have a same CI and you have different locations, you can check that location, but will be the correct location and you can merge that one. Same the installed. It's five other values different. What one is installed on 25th July, second is installed in 24th July, third is installed in 30 July, another is installed in 3rd of September, right? So we can also do that. And now let me take an example of uh I think let me go to merge is it's 51. Let me do one thing only. Let me, all processes are same. Okay, let me take the asset tag basically, right? So different machine, different asset tag, but I just want to use this asset tag, right? I will select this one. It will update here. Proposed value changed to this. I will take next. Now it's showcasing. Do you want to merge the all relationships or you want to be merge the selected relationships from the existing CI or from the duplicate CI to the main CI? If you see here, archive audit, device delocation, item CI uses and all is there, right? Here we have to be again a little bit more careful while we are merging the relationships, because let's take an example or let's take a scenario here. You have a existing CI already, okay, and which is associated with different change numbers, different incident, and with different problem records, right? And because when is that particular CI is associated, that will be a relationships basically, right? Second thing, before 10 days you have discovered new CI with the same serial number and with the same name due to identification rule issues, right? But the existing CI which is already here, which have lots of information as compared to the new CI which you have discovered, right? So you have to go with the main CI, as a main CI for existing CI only. The first thing. Second thing, do you want to merge the relationship from the newly discovered CI to the main CI? If you feel yes, somehow that also used in some other incidents, some other problem records, you can also merge that particular relationships here. The same way which we are doing here, it's showcasing that software instance is running 166, software installation is 216, network adapter is this, software uses is this, right? So whatever info, relationship you want to be merged, you just need to select and select it. That's it. So whatever relationships available on the different CIs, all will be merged immediately. Or if I don't want to be merged, the software install or license or consumption people relationships, I don't want to be, right? So I can remove that one, right? And here, if I, as I mentioned, CMDB request, change request, CMDB CI relationships, problem, task, right? That is out of the box, right? If you don't want to be merged that relationships, you can also ignore that one. Like now, let's go to the next. Determine duplicate CI action. Now, what you want to do with the duplicate CI is basically, right? Do you want to delete? Or do you want to set some cust attribute to remove from the deduplication task? Delete means it automatically, if I go with the delete, the all record will be deleted, right? But I don't want to be deleted. I just want to be keep in my system for the future reference, but I just want to go with that operational value status will be retired. Okay, and as well as install status will be retired. Or I can say it's pending install but retired. Let's put it retired, right? If I put this one, let me go next, and you can see third 376 relations will be merged, 14 duplicate CI will be updated with the custom value. What now you can also verify here again before remediating the CI, the value looks good to you. The asset tag we have changed from original value to proposed value, this, and this is the values available here with each attribute. We can go to the next if we want to verify. If we want to verify relationships, we can also verify this from here. Duplicate CI, we can also what we are doing with the duplicate CI, right? So all actions we can verify, and then we can take a remediate. And when I'm taking the remediation, let's wait for this one to be complete, right? And once my remediation done, we will assign to that particular task to myself, or we can close that one status, right? And if it is closed properly, if you take the correct actions, and automatically it will not going to be create the deduplicate task. Deduplicate task again as I mentioned to be create mentioned, like deduplicate task will be created on the active CIs only, which have the operational status is operational or install status is operational or something, right? It will not capture any absent or retired or non-operational CIs basically in the deduplication task. Automatically that CI will be removed, or that particular CI will not part of any deduplication task, right? So let me go here and let me go to the CMDB table. What is the name of this for which we have took the action? Anyone remember? We can also see the check progress. Yeah, it's done. So let me take example of this. I'm in the CMDB table. Where is my CMDB? Okay, let me open again. It's not copied. See, now what I want to be mentioned that operational status and install status. Operational status. Or install status. See, bot status set to retired, and when it was updated today, 2 minutes ago. Right? Now let me do one more thing. What will be the R my main CI? We have updated. So every whatever the action we have took now, that is you know also available in the work notes of that particular task. Right? So change value we have did this. Let me see what is the status of that one. That is asset tag. This is my one CI which I put because and here one CI is operational installed and second CI is non-operational retired. Right, so automatically that particular CI already which have this 239, it's retired and all right. And the second one which is operational install is part of the new CI. Okay, so is there any questions in the deduplication task one? Guys, I hope you're following me. You're listening me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I just want to discuss one more scenario that is, and I see lots of time that particular scenario where we have lots of duplicate tasks created by, due to identification rule, and we need to take action. Let's take an example. We have 6 tasks. Somehow can I need to do manually or we have to do something else, how we can do that, right? So manually is something which I just do it, or something automate is something we can do using some background script, right? But my suggestion is do not use the background scripts. We should require a dedicated person who did first of all the analysis, who understand how the duplicate CI are creating. Let's fix that issue first and then take the action to remediate duplicate tasks. Let's fix the identification rule and then work on the remediate duplicate task. Only that is the solution to stop creating duplicate tasks. Otherwise, if we are not fixing that root cause, and we are just fixing or remediating the duplicate task, it will not stop. If we remediate, again it will, for that CI which we have deleted or put it to retired, it will okay. But again for other CIs as well, it will create duplicate if we found something like that, right? So we have to be fix the root cause and then we have to be create a remediate duplicate tasks. First thing. Second thing, as I mentioned, background script. We should not go with the background script because while we are doing a remediate duplicate task, we have to be little bit careful to be remediate the CIs and merging the CIs. Because if you are going to be merged to different CIs, that will create a mess up for you, right? or if you are deleting the existing CI, if it's not required to be deleted, that should be part of your CMDB. That will also create mess up. So the same type of activity I'm also working on it, and that is very, very, very hectic for me to, you can't believe there are more than 20,000 records are duplicates or duplicate task. Basically, I have it. And and how the duplicates are created, basically what we did, what customer did earlier, they have first of all manually created the CI with random values and all. And after that, we run the discovery, and due to that, they are not able to find any things. And they created a new CI, and that now a duplicate. Right. So I'm also working on that particular type of issues as well, my day-to-day life or day-to-day issues, but we have to be a little bit careful while we are working on those things. Any questions in that one, guys? Lalit, Arati,
No questions.
I hope I'm
No.
not going, not it's not confusing. It's very straightforward and clear. You're following me, right?
Yes, Ajay.
Okay, I think that's all for today. Monday, I'm going to be cover the couple of different things. Let me showcase you. So if you want to be go through it, you can also go. So configuration item, I just want to be covered today, but due to some time limitations, it's not done. Configuration. Yeah. So we are going to be discuss about CMDB groups. We are going to be discuss about CMDB query builder, right? We are going to be discuss about CMDB remediation. Already we discussed CMDB reports, data manager, right? We are going to be discuss. We have already discussed about that one. Will little bit discuss about the application service and all other things, right? And there are other task related to the CMDB, which is attestation task or certificate task. We are also going to be discuss little bit on those particular things as well, right? And the last and most important thing, which is recently introduced, CMDB workspace. So in next 2 days, we are going to be discussed on those particular topics, right? And we'll cover the complete CMDB as well. And but CMDB is nothing. CMDB is just to how we are managing our CIs in the CMDB, what identification rule we have configured, what reconciliation rule we have configured, what data precedence rules we have configured, what other things we have configured. That is all about the CMDB. Apart from that, everything done by the discovery only, or that service graph connector and other things basically. Right. So we'll discuss on those particular things in next two
Ajay, would
days.
you talk about the service graph connector a little?
Yes, on the last day, I think on Wednesday, I will going to be discuss about two things. One is Azure Discovery, and might be not on Wednesday, most probably early, because my Azure instance is going to be expire by Wednesday. So might be Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to be discuss about Azure Discovery in between of the CMDB and the Service Graph Connector of SCCM as well. So
Ajay,
and
when are we looking at to start service mapping? Looking at the schedule.
service mapping is comes after event management. So it will take at least 15 days as of now. So we'll discuss once we have done CSDM event management, and then we'll move to the service mapping.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions from anyone before wrapping up the sessions for today?
Ajay, quick question. What is
Yeah.
impacted versus affected CIs?
That is something I'm not able to find out the correct, but impacted or affected, both are the same words basically. If I go with the naming convention, right? But what I feel, there are two different views when I'm going to be use example change.
Mhm.
Okay, so there is one main CI, and there are a couple of other CIs which will be affected due to that particular change. Okay, might be downtime on that particular CIS that will be affecting while we are working the change on the main CI. That my understanding might be I'm not correct. Okay, So that is affected one. But impacted is comes in the picture when you have, incident management, when you are monitoring the CIS through event management. If something is impacted by incident or something is impacted by event, that is impacted one. That is my understanding. Let me research again on it and we'll get back to you on Monday as well. But that my understanding basically on those things, affected or impacted.
Sure. Thanks. Ajay.
Yeah, sure. Any other questions before we are wrapping up today? I think then thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Let's meet on Monday. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ajay. Thank you.
Bye.